What's going on, guys, and welcome to a new video here today on my channel. Today we are going to be looking at a few things that irritate me about this car, that annoy me about this car, that I don't really like. I know in my 12-month review video I covered a couple of things, but over the past few weeks I found a few more little annoying things about this car which yeah, just get on my nerves a bit. And yeah, I've had a few comments this week saying, oh, I really want to get this car, I really want to buy a car like this. You've mentioned a few things which you don't like. Is there anything else that you would say that's negative about the car? So this video is for you guys out there who want to buy one of these cars and want to know all the flaws with it, or the flaws that I've found with the car. So yeah, first of all, I need to go get some petrol because I'm on 33 miles of fuel, and yeah, then we're going to crack on with the video and we're going to get into I think there's 7 things which I'm not a massive fan of in this car. So yeah, let's get on with the video. So the first issue with this car is actually the seats. Not the seats in general, but the way you adjust these seats. Like, it doesn't work when you're actually just standing there. You can't just stand here and move the seat back and forth, which is really frustrating. You actually have to get into the car, and then you can move the seat. It's really frustrating, which is not ideal for when you just simply want to just move the seat forward to put something in the back. That's kind of frustrating. So yeah, that's the first thing that really irritates me about this car. And problem number 2, I don't usually have an issue with, because A, I'm quite small, and B, I'm driving the car most of the time. But I have quite a few friends who are over 6 foot, and when they have to get in the back of the car, you pull the seat forward like so, there isn't actually a whole lot of room in the back. So if I just get in here, pull the seat back, I'm only 5'6". Yes, I'm very short. But I have literally no leg room whatsoever back here. So my friends who are 6 foot tall obviously don't have any leg room whatsoever. So that's another thing which is quite frustrating. The amount of space in the back of the car. Obviously it's a 5-seater car, 4.5. I mean, there's not really a seat in the middle, but you have to put the front seats quite far forward. My seat is obviously quite far forward because I need to reach the pedals, but this seat, like I've just demonstrated in the previous clip, doesn't always go forward very easily. So you have to, the person in the front also needs a bit of space. For example, if they're just like that, yes, the person in the back's now got space, but the person in the front doesn't have a whole lot of space. So that's kind of one main issue with this car, is the lack of space inside of it, especially for tall passengers. Obviously you might say, if you've got tall friends, why would you buy a car like this? But if it's your first car or something and you've got tall friends, then it might be all that you can get. So yeah, that's one thing that's quite annoying, is the amount of space you have in both the back and the front passenger seat when you've got tall friends, basically. Third thing which really frustrates me, I can't actually demonstrate to you because it is that annoying. It's the eco mode on this car. It is absolutely rubbish. It works sometimes, it doesn't work other times, especially when you're sat in traffic. It's so random. Sometimes you could be sat in traffic, you put it into neutral, and you just your foot on the brake and it doesn't turn off. But other times you do the same thing and it turns off. It's really frustrating, the eco mode in this car. Usually I just press the off button and it just stays off because it annoys me that much. I just can't be bothered with it. And apparently also it's not great for your engine. I found out the other month, so I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you know much about eco mode on small cars, especially my car. And yes, that's number 3. That's like point 3, which really irritates me about my car, is the eco mode on it. So this one's going to be a little bit controversial, seeing as I said in the last video that the interior of this car was really nice and I really liked it. It was a nice place to be. I did, however, say that this sync system was really bad. It didn't really work and it was a bit rubbish. But I wanted to point out more the center console and how many buttons there are on the center console. There's absolutely loads. I mean, I don't think I've ever used any of these buttons here. These buttons obviously are on the steering wheel as well, so I don't need those ones there. This button, I'm not even sure what that does. Obviously hazards you need and all this. I don't obviously if it's got a CD player, then yes, you will need a CD player and radio aux and all that sort of stuff. But just buttons like this, like the info button, I don't even know if I've ever used that before in my life. Volume, obviously you've got here, but you've also got the volume on the steering wheel, which is a little bit annoying. So there's quite a few buttons, and it's quite cluttered on the center console. I think maybe that they could have redesigned this a bit better. Not bother with this bit at all, because I don't think anyone who's got one of these cars uses this or uses it frequently, especially when you're driving, because obviously the sync system, you can just press this button here and it'll come up with your sync voice activation thing, and you can call people through that. You don't have to type in the number on here, and yeah, it's just really, it's a poor design, and it's very cluttered. So the next one I can demonstrate, because the next one is kind of the suspension and the ride quality on this car. Obviously I'm not expecting Rolls-Royce quality suspension, I'm not expecting it to be super amazing, but the suspension in this car isn't great. It's very, as you can probably tell by the camera quality, it's very wobbly and juttery. You can feel every single bump in the road. And the suspension just isn't really that good. It's quite hard. It's not exactly, like, you can just feel everything. It's not smooth. It's not a comfortable place to be sometimes in this car, especially if you're going down a road which has really, really poor quality. It's a poor quality road. It's not been redone in a while. It's got lots of little different patches where roadworks have been done and all that. So yeah, this car's suspension isn't exactly great. It's not bad. I'm not, obviously, like I said, I'm not expecting Rolls-Royce quality. It's a Fiesta. It's 10 grand. Let's say it's not 250,000 pounds. I'm not expecting, you know, proper nice smooth suspension and everything. It's a hatchback. It's not going to be amazing, but for a hatchback, I do want to feel, you know, comfortable in the car. I don't want to be bouncing around all the time and having my back ruined by rotten roads in the UK, which, let's be realistic, most roads in the UK are rubbish. They're not very well maintained, and you've got potholes popping up left, right and centre, especially this time of year when it's, you know, raining and it's cold and all that, and freeze thaw and all that. So yeah, the suspension in this car is unfortunately a negative. It's not desperately uncomfortable, but it's not comfortable either. So next up we have, well, I'm hoping it's going to work, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to demonstrate it, is to do with the seat belts and when you're coming up to junctions. So obviously seat belts, when you brake, are going to tension because they think you know, slowing down, you're going to have an accident or something. They're trying to protect you. It's all safety precautions. But you know, when you pull up to a junction like this, you brake. I now cannot move at all to see round the corner. You have to literally yank it to actually be able to see what, or to actually be able to look round the corner to see which way you want to go. It's very, 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 very frustrating, and it's obviously a safety feature, yes, but it is rather annoying if you're trying to, for example, see round quite a tight corner. You have to, you know, kind of lurch forward a few times or yank it forward, and that's not exactly fun if you're in a bit of a rush, or yeah, if you're just trying to see around a really tight corner. Like, for example, that one wasn't too bad, that corner, but it is, obviously, it's not clear as day, you can't see around it, you have to lean forward. So yeah, that's kind of number 6 of the things that really annoys me about this car, is the fact that the seatbelt tensioners do stick on for rather a long time. So the last thing that really, really annoys me about the car is to do with the bonnet. It's actually the bonnet latch on the car. I'm going to apologise now because the sun is right in my eyes, but if I go round to driver's side and pop the bonnet, which you do very simply by just pulling this lever down here quite hard, it pops the bonnet for you. I'm going to need 2 hands to do this, so I'm going to put you down on the tripod just here. Hopefully you can see that. But say, under here, is the bonnet latch, and I kid you not, after a year of ownership of this car, I still struggle to pop the bonnet on this car. You've got to lift it up and then just yank this yellow tab here. Let me just put the bonnet up. You've got to yank this yellow tab across. Really difficult. It's really hard to do, and I will admit, I don't open the bonnet often on this car because I don't really need to do a lot under the engine. The only thing I do need to do occasionally is top up the washer fluid. But even when I do have to open the bonnet up on this car, it is really difficult to do. It's really frustrating as well. So that is basically it, guys. Those are the sort of issues I have with this car, the things that annoy me and frustrate me about this car. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this car to pieces. For every negative, there's 1,000 positives with this car. It's unbelievable how good this car is. There's just the very few things which obviously in every car you're going to get, which are really irritating. And these just kind of stand out to me. So yeah, that is basically, hopefully that's helpful for you guys. No idea if it is or not. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have found this video in any way helpful. If you're looking at buying one of these cars, I know there's a couple of people out there, because I've spoken to them, have said, I really want to buy this car, or really want to buy a car the same as this or similar. Can you give me more information? And hopefully this will give you some more information on it, or at least the downsides of the car, so you know what to expect when you buy the car. Like I said, I love this car to pieces, and I am not looking to change it anytime soon. So yeah, I'm going to keep enjoying it. I've actually only in the past week put 20,000 miles on the car. The car now has over 20,000 miles. I've obviously not put all 20,000 on them, but there are now 20,000 miles on the car, which is unbelievable for a little car. I really enjoyed driving this car, and I am going to continue driving it for many more miles. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. So if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Hopefully you found it somewhat informative as well, and you can take something from this video. Like I said, if you are looking to buy a car like this, hopefully this has helped you see the downsides of the car. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.